I just want to do a quick update to tell you a bit about what's been happening with our progress of applying for our Australian visa. So if you've been following my videos, you'll know that Stephen and I have been applying to move to Australia, and we're currently in the process of applying for a visa. Back at the beginning of December, we reached the skills assessment stage, and because I'm the primary candidate, I'm the person that has to get my skills assessed to make sure that I can do the job that I do over in Australia the same as I would do it over here in the UK. So I believe it was the first week of December that we sent away all the paperwork for the skills assessment, and we were told both by the immigration agent and by the people that were carrying out the skills assessment that it would probably take about 12 weeks, possibly even longer, maybe up to 16 weeks for the skills assessment to be carried out. So we weren't really expecting to hear anything until probably around the start of March. But it got to, I believe it was the 15th of January, and I received an email to say that my skills assessment was now complete, and they were sending me a letter of determination which would tell me whether they felt that I was suitable for migration or unsuitable for migration, and that would determine whether we were able to continue with the process or not. That letter would take anything up to 3 weeks to arrive, depending on where you live in the world, and for me it took slightly under 2 weeks for the letter to arrive. When I received the letter, it said that I was suitable for migration, and that means that we can move on to the next stage of the process. We were really surprised at how quick the process was. We weren't expecting it nearly so quickly. I kind of waited for a few days to hear something from the immigration agent and didn't hear anything, so we contacted them and said that we'd received this email, and then we got the letter saying that I'm suitable for migration and that I can move to the next stage. And they said that normally they would have received the email and the letter because obviously I'm using an agent, but not everybody does use an agent, and in those cases they would send the letter and the email directly to the person. So they've probably just made some kind of an administrative error and sent it to me instead of the agent. So all I really need to do is to scan the letter and send it to my agent, and then they can have a copy of it on their file. So we're not quite ready for the next stage of the process because we weren't anticipating it being as quick as it is. The next stage is putting together our expression of interest, and that is us officially saying to the Australian government that we want to move there. There's various things that we need to do for that. Probably the longest thing and the most difficult thing is that Stephen and I both have to write a statement about our relationship to one another because he is coming on my visa. We also need to get members of our family or friends to write statements about our relationship to one another as well. And then he needs to gather some things which I've already provided, things like his birth certificate, the photo page from his passport, some more passport photos, things like that. And I need to provide more things about my work. So pay slips, contracts, any letters that say that my wages changed or that my hours changed, those kinds of things. So that's what we'll be doing over the next few weeks, and I'm kind of hoping that we will have that ready by about the end of February, and then we'll be able to put in the expression of interest. Once you put in the expression of interest, there's not really a lot left to do. You're just waiting to be invited to apply. And then after that, there's just things like police checks and health checks that we need to go through to make sure that we will be definitely suitable to migrate. Other than that, there's not really been a lot going on. Stephen spoke to an estate agent about our house because we own this house and we needed to decide whether we are going to sell or rent the house out to people while we are living in Australia. So they said that the market is quite good for either option. I think we're probably going to go with the option of selling, but not entirely sure on that yet. We would need to do certain things to the property if we wanted to rent it out. So we're just going to think about that for now. We're not ready to actually do anything with the house yet. It's about 8 months before we're planning to move. So I'm thinking that probably sometime around about the summer is when we would be looking to put it on the market. Obviously you can't predict entirely how long it will take to sell the place, because they said they had somewhere just before Christmas which they put on the market and it sold the next day, and then there's other places which can sit for months without selling. So you just don't know, but you do want to give it a decent length of time to sell, just to make sure that it's not a case of you're leaving and you haven't managed to sell your house and then you're thinking, well, what do we do? So that's all that we're doing at the moment. I just thought I would give you an update to let you know what's happening. If you have any questions about what's going on, then please feel free to leave me a comment, and I will see you next time. Bye!